Hello fellow travelers, my name is SG and welcome to the channel. Today we'll be continuing on with Dante's Inferno with Canto 20. Last time we saw Virgil and Dante, they were making their way past the second to last level of hell, where they are meeting fraudsters and philanderers such as that. In the last one, Dante and Virgil met along people who worked for or with the church, but were using it to steal money and or have power over others. And Dante had a lot to say in that one. Go check it out if you want to, but for now, let's continue, shall we? Of a new pain behooves me to make verses, and give material to the 20th canto, of the first song which is of the submerged. I was already thoroughly disposed to peer down into the uncovered depth, which bathed itself with tears of agony, and people saw I through the circular valley, silent and weeping, coming at the pace, which in this world the lit nights assume. As lower down my sight descended on them, wondrously each one seemed to be distorted, from chin to the beginning of the chest, and from towards reins the countenance was turned, and backward it behooved them to advance, as to look forward had been taken from them, perchance indeed by violence of palsy. Some of one has been thus wholly turned away. But I never saw it, nor believe it can be, as God may let thee, reader, gather fruit from this thy reading. Think now for thyself how I could ever keep my face unmoistened, when our own image near me I beheld, distorted so, the weeping of the eyes along the fissure bathed the hinder parts. Truly I wept, leaning upon the beak of the hard cage, so that my escort said to me, Art thou too of the other fools? Here pity lives when it is wholly dead. Who is a greater reprobate than he who feels compassion at the door divine? Lift up thy head, and see for whom opened the earth before the Thanabin's eyes. Wherefore they all cried, Whither rushest thou, Amphiaraus? Why dost leave the war? And downward cease he not to fall amain, as far as Minos, who lays hold on all. See, he has made a bosom of his shoulder, because he wished to see too far before him. Behind he looks, and backwards goes his way, toward Theseus, who his semblance changed, when from a male a female he became, his members being all of them transformed. And afterwards was forced to strike once more the two entangled serpents with his rod, ere he could have again his manly plums. That Arnis is, who backs the other's belly, who in the hills of Luni, where grubs the carcass, was houses underneath. Among the marbles white a caravan had, for his abode whence to behold the stars and sea. The view was not cut off from him, and she there, who is covering up her breast, which thou beholdest not, which loosened terraces, and on that side has all the hairy skin, was Manto, who made quest through many lands, afterwards tarried there where I was born, whereof I would thou list to me a little. After her father had from life departed, and the city of Bacchus had become enslaved, she a long season wandered through the world. Above the beauteous Italy lies a lake, at the Alps' foot that shuts in Germany, over Tyrol, and has the name Banaco, by 1,000 springs, I think, and more, is bathed, twixt Garda and Valcamanca, Pinino, with water that grows stagnant in that lake. Midway a place is where the Tyrrhenian pastor, and he of Brescia and the Verona sea, might give his blessings if he passed that way. Sitteth Peschiera, fortress fair and strong, to front the Brescians, and the Bergamasques were round about the bank descended lowest. There of necessity must fall whatever, in bosom of Banaco cannot stay, and grows a river down through verdant pastures. Soon as the water doth begin to run, no more Banaco it is called, but Mencio, far as Governo, where it falls in Po. Not far it runs before it finds a plain, in which it spreads itself and makes it marshy, and oft is wont in summer to be sickly. Passing that way, the virgin peerless land in the middle of the fen descried, untilled and naked of inhabitants. There, to escape all human intercourse, she with her servants stayed, her art to practice and lived, and left her empty body there. The men thereafter, who were scattered round, collected in that place which was made strong by the lagoon it had on every side. They built their city over their dead bones, and after her who first the place selected, Mantu named it, without other omen. Its people once within more crowded were, the stupidity of Calçadori from Pinamonte had received deceit. Therefore I caution thee, if ever thou hearest originate my city otherwise, no falsehood may the verdity defraud. And I, my master, the discourse are to me so certain, and so take my faith, that unto me the rest would be spent coils. But tell me of the people who are passing, if any one noteworthy thou beholdest, and only unto that my mind reverts. Then said he to me, he who from the cheek thrust out his beard upon his swarthy shoulders was at the time when Greece was void of males, so that there scarce remained one in the cradle, an augur, and with Calchas gave the moment in Aglis, when the sever the first cable. Eriphlis his name was, and so sings my lofty tragedy in some party or other, that knowest thou well, who knowest the whole of it. The next one, who was so slender in the flanks, was Michael Scott, who of a verity of magical illusion knew the game. Behold Guido Bonatti, behold as Dante, who now onto his leather and his thread would fain have stuck, but he too late repents. Behold the wretched ones who left the needle, the spole, and rock, and made them fortune tellers. They wrought their magic spells with herbs and image, and come now, for already holds the confines of both hemisphere, and under Seville touches the ocean wave, Cain, and the thorns. And yesternight the moon was round already. Thou shouldst remember, well it did not harm thee, from time to time within the forest deep. Thus he spake he to me, and we walked the while. Alright, now that we've read the chapter, let's talk about it, shall we? This one is still about fraudsters, since we're still in the second to last of the levels of hell. But this one was more about what you would call a looser interpretation of fraudsters. He told the story of his homeland, or at least where he's from, about its origins. How it was a woman who built this small home for herself on this land that had no one there. She built it with one servant, and they lived there till the day she died and was buried. And it remained undisturbed, it remained plentiful, because she didn't take more than she needed of the land. But then after her, the next ones who were chosen to watch this land, they decided that they wanted to make homes that were bigger. They decided they wanted to make an actual city, but it was too big. It became too popular. It decided to become more of a megacity, and the land was depleted. And it took those men who built this city, and it sent them down to the 8th level. Well, yeah, about the 8th level, because they tricked and misused the land as much as they did. And at the same time, they took away the trust of the lady who owned it before them, and even built upon her bones, which was a very sad thing that they admit they did not feel guilty about. The last bit, though, we got there was about fortune tellers. Not real ones, these were fake ones that use tricks and magic to help fund themselves instead of helping them help other people. And they use this format to trick people out of money in the long run. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this chapter. It was pretty good. I'm gonna keep on reading until we finish it. We still got a few more chapters to go, so please stick around if you want. I hope you enjoyed this one, like I said. And if you did, please subscribe or leave a like or comment. I wouldn't mind an opinion on this. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. See ya.